Here's something that'll surprise you about New York City in 2025. While social media argues nonstop about subway safety and crime spirals, the actual data tells a completely different story. New York just recorded its safest year in 16 years. At the same time, rents are making headlines for being borderline absurd, yet people are still moving here in massive numbers. Young professionals, recent graduates, entire industries. So, what's really happening? Why do the numbers say New York is improving while the narrative says it's falling apart? That disconnect is exactly what we're unpacking because New York in 2025 is both better and harder than people think. Part 1. Money and Housing Reality. Cost of Living, Neighborhoods, Trade-offs. Let's start with money because for most people, that's the deal breaker. Manhattan's median rent hit $4,972 in September 2025. That's not luxury housing, that's the median. One apartment, one paycheck evaporated. But here's what the headlines conveniently leave out. Manhattan is only one of 5 boroughs. In Queens, one-bedrooms average $2,700 to $3,200. The Bronx and Staten Island are even lower. And within Manhattan itself, neighborhoods like Washington Heights, Central Harlem, and Upper Manhattan remain significantly more affordable than downtown hotspots. The real story isn't that New York is universally expensive, it's that New York is unevenly expensive. If you want a doorman building in Tribeca, sure, $7,000 a month. But if you're willing to ride the subway for 30 minutes, you can cut that cost in half and still live in one of the most powerful cities on earth. Citywide median rent sits around $3,500 to $3,600, about 67% higher than the national average. That hurts, but context matters. That number blends studios in outer boroughs with penthouses overlooking Central Park. Brooklyn's median rent hit $4,100, but that includes luxury areas masking neighborhoods like Bushwick and Sunset Park, where deals still exist. Rents climbed 18% since early 2020, but here's the shift. Growth has slowed dramatically since 2023. The market isn't exploding anymore, it's stabilizing. Part 2. Jobs, Careers, and Why People Still Move Here. Opportunity versus Cost. Economic engine. Here's the curveball most critics ignore. Despite the cost of living, New York added 152,000 private sector jobs since February 2020. The city now has 4.26 million private sector jobs, the highest number in its history. Over 565,000 graduates from the classes of 2022 to 2025 moved here to work. These aren't trust fund kids, they're people doing the math and deciding the opportunity is worth the squeeze. Tech alone tells the story. Average tech salary, $113,000. AI architects and senior engineers, $200,000 plus. AI and machine learning roles, up 71%. Data science roles, up 34%. Healthcare added 97,000 jobs in 1 year. Education and health services grew faster than the national average. Unemployment dropped to 5.0%, while labor force participation hit near all-time highs. New York isn't just surviving, it's functioning as a career accelerator. You can pivot industries here. You can network in ways smaller cities simply can't offer. The density of opportunity is the real product New York sells. Part 3. Crime, Subways, and Perception versus Reality. Data-driven safety breakdown. Now let's talk about the most misunderstood part of New York, crime. If you only follow headlines, you'd think the city is a war zone. The data says the opposite. In 2024, major crime dropped nearly 3%. Murders fell 19%. Shooting incidents dropped 54% since 2021. New York ranked 8th lowest in murder rate among the 50 largest U.S. cities. The subway? Even safer. Transit crime dropped 5.2% in 2024, and when you factor in ridership, there were just 1.65 major crimes per million riders in 2025, down roughly 30% since 2021. Translation: more people are riding the subway, and it's getting safer at the same time. Governor Hochul committed $77 million for subway policing. Ridership responded immediately. December 2025 broke post-pandemic records twice. Now, context matters. Some categories increased. Rape statistics rose due to a legal definition change. Shoplifting spiked post-pandemic, but fell 7% by 2025. Felony assaults remain high and are a real issue. Crime is also highly concentrated. About 50% of shootings happen in a small number of neighborhoods. This isn't a citywide collapse, it's a localized challenge. New York isn't back to its 2019 lows yet, but compared to most U.S. cities, it's safer and improving. Conclusion: is New York worth it in 2025? Balanced takeaway, emotional close. So here's the honest verdict. New York City in 2025 is better than its reputation and harder than ever at the same time. Crime is down, transit's improving, jobs are growing, the city is investing billions into its future while other cities cut back. But affordability is brutal, space is limited, noise is constant, and comfort is not guaranteed. New York works if you're strategic. Live in less trendy neighborhoods, use public transit instead of owning a car, leverage free culture instead of expensive entertainment, build networks aggressively. The city rewards ambition and adaptability. It punishes complacency. If you want quiet, space, and ease, there are better places. But if you want density, opportunity, diversity, and momentum, there's still nowhere else like it. The data says New York is improving. Whether that improvement is worth the cost, that's a calculation only you can make.